Wow. I am so glad that I looked over here because I would have been sitting here talking to myself. Wow. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and do everything I just said all over again. You know, you were there in spirit, okay? The spirit was there, but the sound was not. Okay, well, how are you? How's your New Year's going? I had said, I was like, make sure y'all get y'all questions together. I was like, dang, anybody asking no questions? Because y'all couldn't hear nothing. Okay, well, my bad. You can hear me now? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for having so much patience, with technology and whatnot. The deck I pulled is Fortune's Queens. It's actually the second one. It is based on Drag Race. So it's so cute. You see like the different images on here. Look at me thinking I'm refocused for a day. Anyway, so if you all like this, I am considering doing this on a regular basis, but only if you want to continue to see this. Also, this is the time to bring your questions. If there's anything that you need clarity on, any, balance information, anything. You just want to look at yourself in a deeper way or a new way. Basically, the cards that I had pulled before was the King of Swords. So it was talking about mentality and fear and like the Capricorn energy. I talked about that new moon in Capricorn that just happened yesterday. And we have Venus in retrograde in Capricorn. And then Mars eventually is going to go into Capricorn too. So with this Capricorn energy, Capricorn is really challenge oriented. If you give Capricorn energy a challenge, it'll rise to the occasion to be able to overcome that. But when things are a little bit too easy or a little bit too quiet, it kind of can have the fear aspect. So if things haven't been moving just yet the way that you want them to move, you're, maybe getting started into something, there might be fear that comes up. But once you actually get going in what you're doing, rest assured, the fear will subside and you will have actual challenges that will show up. But that's okay because Capricorn energy is good. I also said, baby, I gotta drink my green juice. It's actually not even green juice. It is simply just wheatgrass. But anyway, so let me go on over. Let me see how you all are doing. Okay. So can you link the deck? So the deck I got from Kickstarter, from Enjoy My Cakes. That's where you can find them on Instagram. And it's called the Fortune Queen Tarot. Let me see. No contact situation. Does she think about me? Ooh, okay. Let's get started and open up. Thank you, universe, for the opportunity to be in this space and to bring messages of health, wealth, abundance, and understanding and clarity and balance. Please bring messages across in a clear and concise way so that it is for our highest vibrational good only. And let us take what we need and leave what we don't. Okay. So you asked, is she thinking about you? So it kind of feels like you're obsessing about her and you're kind of bigging her up to be bigger than what it actually is. And let me explain this because this is how you're feeling. You're feeling very like, Four of Cups, where it's just like you're trying to offer something, offer energy, offer your time, offer your love, your, whatever it is that you're at this point in this stage to offer. And you just feel like she's not, she's not doing anything. She's not reacting. She's not responding. She's not doing any of this stuff. And you just see her as like, oh, she's just so far away. Well, universe, is this something that they should pursue, or, is she thinking of them? Or they thinking of them? Sorry, I didn't read the gender of the people. Are they thinking of them? I don't know. I don't know. Not in the same way that you are. So there's that. Not in the same way that you are. Also, I'm not a doom and gloom reader, so you know I gotta give you something to help bridge. Ultimately, what's the reason? Time for something new. Time to go on this new adventure. Okay, let me jump into some of these other questions. Okay. Aurora, I just want to know about my career, if I will be successful with the path I want to follow. Baby, I don't got to pull the cards to tell you. The answer is yes, as long as you stick to what you want to do. Be flexible, okay? Like, be adaptable. But I think sometimes people, when they ask that question, what they're asking is, hey, today I decided to be, I don't know, let me make some shit up. Today I decided to build curtains or to sew curtains or something like that. Am I going to be successful at that? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. But ultimately, your career, see, like a job and a career, they're two different things. The job is something that you do, you know, temporarily, your day-to-day things. Your career is like when you compile everything that you've done into one space. So career-wise, you're going to be fine. But I think you're asking me, like, will the job that you want to do at this time, or you know what you're focusing on your energy on right now, will that be successful? Okay, will it be successful for Aurora? What they're doing, will it be successful? I'm like trying to be efficient with these big ass cards. Okay, Page of Cups, it makes you feel good. So I'm a strong believer in that whatever you feel, you know, whatever brings life into the feeling of what you're doing will make it successful. Simply because when you hit like a roadblock, when you hit like bumps, when you feel good about something and you can push past like the challenges because you're like, hey, you know, I like actually doing this, then ultimately you'll be successful, even if there's adaptability and there's change into that. Good question. Okay. Dang. Actually, let me go ahead and write this deck in. Fortune, Queen, Tarot. And let me give y'all a little heart, because I love you. Tarot deck. And there's two different types of decks. Okay. Okay. Bullying question. What will happen if I tell my mom? If you're being, first and foremost, if you're being bullied, you need to tell somebody, don't you? Okay, let me tell you something. Don't ever bully anyone, but also at the same time, do not ever let yourself be bullied. And you have to correct bullies at the forefront. Because people, the thing is, it's about like mental or like physical power, and people are trying to dominate you. So you need to tell somebody, and it doesn't make you look, I don't know, like however you think it makes you look. Instead, it holds the people accountable, because you might be helping them out, because someone might beat their ass later on because they bullied the wrong person. So here's the card that came up, which is the Moon. So it's secrets. So it's talking about the secret. You feel like, oh my gosh, I can't share it, baby. It is not that. Tell. I'm telling you that right now. Just tell, because you know your secrets eat you alive. I'll give you one more card for that. Just tell. Just tell. You need get as much help as you possibly can. And also understand that it's not necessarily your pain or your issue or your problem to hold. It's theirs. So you have to give it back to them. Next question. Is it a good time for Aries? Baby, it's a good time for all signs. I was talking about this in this week's moon cycle reading. I'm talking about like learning these principles or understanding this energy of Capricorn coming in, the new moon being in Capricorn, and Mercury being in Capricorn. I actually didn't even mention that. Mercury being in Capricorn and us going into being in the pre-shadow period of Mercury in retrograde in Capricorn. So what that means is that we're taking these Capricorn principles, which is foundations, building, you know, even hierarchy, but it's more of like structure, feeling safe and secure, being able to have a strong foundation. And then you put your twist on it based off of what you might be heavy in, both elements and signs. So if you're heavy into fire, or you have heavy Aries energy, then that might be you're spending a lot of your energy and your time doing like your action, building up this structure, or building up things like that. So it's always a good time. Okay. Yes. Oh, I love career readings. You know, I get love readings often in career. What does the universe want me to know going into 2022? What does the universe? Okay. What is the universe? And also, I want you all to be mindful that if you're here purposefully. So the things that are resonating across the collective can come up in our individual questions. So take what you need and leave what you don't. But the question was, what does the universe want me to know going into 2022? You really have to cut your losses. You know, the only thing that is really limiting you from going forward is holding on to the memory of past baggage. It's not even like something is still happening. It is simply saying that like the memory of it is the problem. You're in the clear with everything else, but it's the memory. We were also talking about that on the moon cycle reading too, where everybody, you know, who doesn't really know like tarot cards, things like that, like they'll be afraid of the death card or the devil card. But them sword cards are really the scary ones because, you know, our mind is so powerful. You know, our mind is really what brings us peace of mind, you know, things like that. And then, you know, the 10 of Pentacles. So here's the thing that 2020 wants you to know, or the universe wants you to know for 2020, is that when you let go of the memory of the baggage that you've been carrying, that, you know, it was tough and rough and hard and X, Y, and Z, then you open yourself up to unlimited potential. Then you put yourself first. This is what I learned about baggage. Baggage will take up all your time. And baby, I do mean all your time. All your time. And when you finally find a way to free yourself from that baggage, you actually have a lot of time to do whatever you want to do, okay? To pursue whatever you want to do, to just have fun. Sometimes having fun is like the precursor to discovering what your next chapter is. Yes, baby. Okay, let me see what else is going. Okay, MK, love reading for you as a single Scorpio. Universe, any information for MK and their love life? As you know, self-love is the best love, but, you know, community and collective and wanting to have partnership, that's cool too. That's lovely. I like it myself. Any information for MK love life? I'm getting just kind of like one card. Queen of Swords. You have to be compassionate about this approach that you're taking. So I think that you probably are fine in the love area as long as you don't make it harder on yourself than you need to. You know, like think about it like this. Like maybe you meet people, you know, regularly on whatever kind of space, in real life, online or something like that. You know, have friendships, maybe you meet people through friends. But sometimes if we put too much pressure on ourselves to find the one, or to have everything right now, you might miss the opportunities that are right in front of you. You know, if you focus on the type of people that make you feel nurtured mentally, you will do best with them. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Okay, you want a love reading for you too. Please do a love reading for me too. gonna pull one card for you, sweetness. I should call it love and career only today. That's what we doing. Thank you, baby. Okay, Angelina. Okay. Universe, give us some information about a love reading for Angelina. So I got a little bit of dissonance. That's not a bad thing. It just means like kind of like some little obstacle or something like that. But it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. Let me see. You got the Ace of Wands. So the energy that's coming across here is like, you know, sometimes you might be really excited to start something fresh with someone and they don't like end up being what you want them to be. Kind of like they end up like lying. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, you get the nose right here. Like, you know, like, but you see, here's the thing. You see the potential in a dud. You get what I'm trying to say? Like you look at somebody, you can see, oh my gosh, this has so much potential, da 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 da. And you might get really, really excited into it. It might not turn out to be anything. So baby, just have some patience, you know, just have some patience, you know. And honestly, I love this, look for more balance. Maybe you come off as really very nice and very sweet. And maybe you need to be, when it comes to dating, a little bit colder. And colder isn't like you're just mean. It's just, you might be so welcoming of people that you need to set up a couple more boundaries to be able to filter in the right people and to not waste your time. Okay, what else? What do we got going on here? Okay, Catherine. Hello, babes. I have been seeing the color red and the theme of red over the past few months. Is there any clarity that can be brought to these themes and messages? Okay, universe. This color red for Catherine, what does this mean? Are you taking the red pill in the Matrix? Side note, I didn't like the new Matrix, and I feel so sad. I like binged all the Matrix and Blades because, you know, they said back in the day that the Matrix kind of copied Blade. Fun fact, did you know that Keanu Reeves' character was actually supposed to be played by Will Smith, but he passed on it, and that's how Jada got into the Matrix, the next one. Anyway, sorry to have those random moments. Red. So we have the Hanged Man. Have you been going on a journey, but you feel like maybe not so in control of it, but you're not really as not in control. Okay, wow. A lot of double negatives there. Anyway, you have more power than you think you do. So it's almost like, it's like two energies. The way it feels is two energies coming at one time. One is like stop. And the other one is like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. What I think you need to do is I actually think that it's trying to tell you that the actions you're taking are fine, but the internal perspective needs to shift because it's kind of like you're not 100% aligned with both the internal energy and the external action. The actions are fine, but the internal energy needs to match so you can have, as we were just talking about, peace of mind and balance. Maybe this might even require a resting period. You know, during this Mercury retrograde in Capricorn that's coming up in January 14th through February 4th, maybe you might consider resting there and just like rejuvenating and taking a little break there. Okay, let me see. Okay, Joe, let's see what's going on. Let's see. Just wondering what you pick up for me intuitively. This Venus retrograde has been shaking my table. Just shake the table. Oh, it's the reference for me. It's the reference. Okay, Joe. Any information on Joe for this Venus and retrograde period? What makes you feel safe? You know, this can be an internal question. And for those who just started watching, you can ask any question in the chat. And also the questions that come up from the collective, you know, we all get a little bit from it. So what's up with this Venus in retrograde period for Joe? Okay. These jumped out. So we have the moon and we have the Hierophant. So the moon is kind of like sending the message that maybe you received some information that you didn't hear. Sorry, I wanted to get real clear. Maybe you received the like message of some information you didn't know, and you know, secrets can hurt. Like secrets can be difficult. Secrets can be very surprising. Either it's information that you needed to share, or you were holding in, or somebody needed to share, or somebody was holding in with you. But just this, it's kind of been a period of like, you realize that there's like secrets that have to do with something. So that might be where the boom, 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 the table is shaking. But then you have this Hierophant energy, which feels like you're like, in your mind, you feel like there's a right and a wrong way to do something. And either you feel like the person or the people are in the wrong, or you're in the wrong. It's not like you know, like the police in the law, or like, you know, like the justice system. Not like that. It's more of like, you know, like the Pope, like the highest order of, let's say, like morality. I'm trying to think, like ethics. I'm like, girl, get this description together. Ethics, basically, you feel like there's a right and a wrong way of doing something, and it's just not in line. Is there anything, universe, that they should do to help with this? To find healing or height. Come on, universe. Baby. Just gotta be like, fuck it. What you got to do, baby, is not care, okay? Look, if somebody hurts you, even if you hurt somebody else, unintentional, X, Y, and Z, sometimes you got to cut those ties and those losses. Like, you got to, you know, stop beating a dead horse. You know, you have to let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. It's going to continue to eat away at you, because I guarantee that the energy you have been feeling has been going on since 2021. You know, like when all this stuff was going into this Venus and Capricorn and retrograde energy. So you have to let it go. You cannot bring that energy onto the new year, or you will give it life. So it's kind of like very addictive a little bit to want to still sit and be in a place of like, dang, I want this to work out, or I want to find resolution, or I need to understand the meaning. It's okay. You just have to let it go, you know? And you'll take your time, you'll heal a little bit, you know, but you have to literally cut. It's cord cutting at this point. You got to cut that cord, boom, and, you know, don't look back. You know, don't turn into a pillar of salt, okay? Like, do not look back at all. Just continue to go forward. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm just saying that, like, you can't have the old stuff continue to drag you down. Hopefully I ain't shaking the table no more, baby. Okay. Okay, Agus, I feel like I'm not motivated to do anything. Will this change? Let me see. Motivation. This is giving me like maybe a one card explanation. Thank you, universe. Anything about motivation here? Somebody over here cooking. I was like, did I cook? No, I didn't. Okay. So this Hermit energy is coming up. So it's like, this is kind of a time where you are feeling like really within yourself, as you're saying, but understand the importance of Hermit. I think the advice for Mercury retrograde coming up in January and February probably applies to you too, where when things are in retrograde, you're not really taking actions, but it's an excellent time for planning. So if you're not motivated to do anything, this is the time period to plan. Plan what you want to do. Because sometimes you be like, oh, I want to do this, and then like you plan it, but if you don't follow through, it kind of makes you feel like, oh, I didn't follow through. I don't feel like doing anything. But how about plan out like maybe a little bit longer, like plan out the month, or plan out like the next 3 months, or you can even do a top-down approach for the year. Like this month I would like to accomplish this, or that month da 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 da, and then really work your way down to the like weekly things or daily things. But use this as a time of planning. You got to go for the low-hanging fruits. Whenever I have to do something that has to do with productivity, baby, I can come up with 15 excuses not to do something, do the bare minimum and make it work out, okay? That's probably not how I should always do things. But what I realize is that when I do want to pick up the momentum and get back into the swing of things, I go for the lower hanging fruit first. I've heard people say, do the most difficult thing first. No, baby, I'm not going to spend all day doing something and then feel like everything else is going to be this arduous task that I have to do. No, I'm going to just do the easy things. And sometimes, like, once I complete a couple items, I might feel like something else is easier than me doing this. So let me go do this other thing. So it's kind of like, it's called a snowball effect. You're just like doing a little bit more, doing a little bit more, and doing a little bit more. Okay. And if I didn't get to see your question, feel free to repost it. You are so welcome, Joe. Will I find academic success and get accepted to the program I've been applying? Are there any messages that I should apply into my working process? Wow, you're asking someone who actually used to work in higher education for 10 years. Baby, you could always get, let me tell you something. Here's the biggest secret about going to college, okay? You can always get somewhere, okay? But what you're asking is specifically, will you get into the main program that you want to go into? And then you ask something else. I should apply, is there any messages I should apply to my working? Okay. Will they, Dorsa, will they get into the program that they applied for? Now, I will have to just simply say, if you only applied to one program, then okay. But if you applied to multiple programs, that might be a little bit different. And when you say applying to program, it gives me a very like master's degree level. Will they get into their program? Okay. Yes, exactly. Got it. Will they get into their program? Okay. Okay. So we have some wands and swords. So we have the Six of Swords, we have the Ace of Wands, and we have the Seven of Swords. Now, here's a question that I need to ask you. The problem is not you getting in. That's not a problem at all. Are you willing to do the work to get in? Meaning, if you don't get in the first time, will you continue on with this path? Or have you given yourself this ultimatum where it's like, oh, if I don't get in, then I'm going to move on to something else? Because what this is giving me is kind of like a bit of energy of like, maybe it's not exactly the way that you think it is. Like maybe it's not exactly what you want in your soul's level, but at the same time, it's like you're envisioning it, you are making it so big. You're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And of course that makes sense whenever you have like the pressure of deadlines or things like that. When that comes up, that makes sense of like, oh, will this work out? But ultimately, you can force it to work, meaning like you can just continue to apply. You talk to the admissions people in the program, and just find out how to be a great candidate and continue to follow up. You can do that, but I actually feel like, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I feel like there's a better opportunity for you. I think there actually might be a better program for you. That's what it's coming across. Like this program is good, but I feel like there's something better for you. Let me see. There are several programs, but exchange and international student type of things. Really bad at explaining it. Okay, so I don't think it's the initial program that you're thinking of, but I do feel like if you continue to push at it, you will be able to do it. But I also don't think that like you need to put all your eggs in one basket, meaning like you're doing the right thing of applying to the different programs, but at the same time, don't put your entire self-worth into getting into this specific program, because I think that there is a program out there that actually is a better fit and an easier path for you. So I know sometimes we can build things up. This is my favorite card, y'all. You're really lucky. Okay. So I don't think you should play small here. I don't think you should limit yourself to the programs that you have applied to. And also be mindful of time too. You know, if you give yourself a little bit more time, you can reach higher. That's what it's saying. If if in here, when the way I try to explain things when it comes to like, how things happen and stuff like that, it's not that things are finely defined. It's we co-create the reality that we want and we have. And sometimes we unconsciously do it. And if you're lucky, you're kind of like more consciously or more mindful of doing it. So if you would like to co-create this experience, you can do it. But I actually feel like you should use your powers for good and co-create a better experience. Like I want you to dream as big as you possibly can dream. What is the best program for you? Now, sometimes people think of like, the ranking systems or something like that. Oh, the school that is the top school, that's the best program. Yes or no? Like, as someone who worked in higher education for 10 years, I'm not going to lie to you. The ranking system actually is like it's not real. It's not a thing. Like it matters to people, when you want to get a job, which is not a bad thing, so think about it from a networking perspective and not an actual educational perspective. But really the ranking system is based off of like the university presidents rating each other. So, wow, what a boys club, you know what I'm saying? And so when it actually comes to the quality of education, the perfect program for you that will take you to your next level is there. Sorry to spend so much time on that one, but I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's more. Like, there's more to offer. There's more to be offered towards you than what you applied to. Okay. Let me see what else is going on. Okay, Charlotte, what you up to? I moved to the Netherlands from the UK to live with my Dutch husband. Will it ever feel like home for me? How do I feel grounded here? Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I know. Okay. Well, it will eventually feel like home, but you're probably asking, how can I feel grounded here? How can they feel grounded? Oh, community is one. So finding that local community, because probably right now, your family and your husband, they're your community, but that's fun too. But it's like, family's family. You got to get out there. This is like dating for friends or for like hobbies. And during the period of COVID, it can be difficult because you always want to be safe, but there's a lot of things that you can do online too. This card, the Chariot, is kind of giving me this like energy of like, okay, baby, you want to feel like it's at home. You got to put yourself out there. You have to make it feel like home. You have to bring, like, maybe if you're a creative person and maybe you like your house looking nice, take it to the next level. Like really like make your house look like within your budget. It can be within your budget too. Like, oh, this wall makes me feel good, or this area makes me feel good, or start to host things. You don't have to physically host things. You can like virtually host things too, where you're like, hey, I think I'm going to have like a Zoom or like, some chat call with my friends around the world, or, with my friends from home on a routine basis. And I want you to take those people like that make you feel like home, and I want you to carry them like in whatever, your tablet, computer, phone, whatever, carry them around your house and introduce them into your space, because you want their energy to come in too. So you're infusing this space. So you have to make yourself bigger. No one's gonna come and just like, say, come on, let's make this feel like home for you. No, in fact, you get to decide and redefine what what home feels like for you. Honestly, it's like falling in love in a different way, just not a romantic way, but like a you ever remember like a childhood memory, like, if you like played in a like under a tree or something like that, and the comfort that the tree brought you swing on the branches, reading books and stuff like that, it feels like love, like the giving tree. Questionable story there, but like because nobody actually questioned the fact that the boy in this giving tree, who was really like just selfish anyway, but like, it makes you feel like love. It's like you want to infuse your house and your home with every piece of love. You want to make it feel even better than where it was before. Now, baby, it's going to take some time. There's still going to be some healing that happens because just being a little homesick, but this is kind of cool too, because you get to reinvent yourself. You can be whoever you want to be. That's really cool. I know sometimes we can get kind of, and this is for anyone making any kind of transitional changes, going from one place to another, going into a new environment. Sometimes it's nice to have that familiar feeling, especially when it comes to family, because, you're probably going to stay consistent with your family. But it's kind of also cool to grow into whoever you wanted to be. When you were younger and you dreamed as big as you wanted to dream of who you would be, how you would be, stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of a fresh start to do that. So if you have a lot of empty space and time, like internal space and time, that's the time to fill it up with that. Okay. Okay, Charlie. Was my cousin sorry for what he did to me, or was it all smoke and mirrors? So, Charlie, you're giving me the vibe that they apologized, but you want to know if it's genuine. They apologized because they wanted it to be better. Like they thought that if they apologized to you, that everything would work out. Like it would make, it would make it all better. That's why they did it. Now you're asking, are they genuine or not? Was the apology genuine? I'm gonna tell you something in a second, but let's ask the universe, was the apology genuine? They really thought that, like, by apologizing to you, it would be ultimately, like, best for everyone. But, like, honestly, it doesn't really matter if it's genuine or not. If somebody violates your boundaries in some type of way, you put them at a different space. And so, forgiving them or allowing them to apologize to you, that's completely fine. Like, that should happen. But most of the time people apologize for themselves. They don't apologize for you. They apologize for themselves to make them feel better, to make themselves feel less guilty or less whatever. Even if they weren't in the wrong or they were in the wrong. So honestly, the apology doesn't matter. What you have to do is you have to make a decision, or honestly, what you probably should do is you need to put some boundaries up. Okay, maybe whatever they did it, but they can't be at the same space. They can't have your same level of trust. That's going to take a while to repair. The apologies, it's good. That's fine. They genuinely did it because they thought it was going to make everything be better or okay or something like that. But ultimately, they don't get to just come back in and be, who they were or how it was. So, keep your, when I say keep your guard up, I'm like, have healthy boundaries. It shouldn't just be like people are able to come in and out your life, because if you don't have healthy boundaries, they could do it again, honestly, depending on where it is. Okay. Sneezy. Where will my relationship go with my good friend? Okay. I did, sweetheart, I did, Paradise, I did do what's coming. I did it in the beginning. Because you asked about 2020 love. But where will my relationship go with my good friend, Libra? Good friend. What, you want more? Ah! Didn't you wish you didn't ask that question? Okay, Tower card. It's tough. It's good. There's gonna be some breaking down. Here's the thing. Breaking down doesn't always mean that someone is like throwing a bottle at your front door, okay? Breaking down could be like things change. Like, let me give you an example. You're friends with somebody, okay? And maybe you all start having different interests. And then over time, you start to drift away or something like that. But then when you actually have the time to reflect, it kind of hurts you. It gives you that tower feeling of things not being the way that you wanted them to be. That's one example where it's like that can bring that tower feeling. Another example is just like toxic, toxic energy or something like that. It just really depends, but be very aware. Be very aware. Like, again, with the guard, like, have your guard up and know where to place people. Because people can only impact you if you let them in. And if you're feeling thrown off, or you feeling like maybe this is not maybe the most ideal thing, but maybe you care for somebody or they're close to you or something like that, just put them where they need to be. And let them act the fool there. Don't let them act the fool over here. Allow them to act the fool over here, okay? And also be mindful that sometimes we are the ones who act the fool, okay? I'll tell you right now, when my friends invite me out and I don't feel like going, I'm like, no, I don't want to go. Because how dare I show up somewhere and just act the fool? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be here complaining. I can't stand that. So I sit myself in the house at times. But again, it's being mindful of what you need. Pretty much. Okay, we are coming to a close, but I will take a couple more questions. Okay. Hey, my boyfriend is a Leo. He has an interview on the 5th of January. Can you tell me how the energy will go? Some guidance / action cards to make the outcome positive. Okay. So how will the boyfriend's interview go? You're so sweet. Oh my gosh. I wish you had the interview. How considerate of you. How will their interview go? How will the boyfriend's interview go? And towards a positive outcome. Oh, I just feel like the love and the concern. I think that's really what's popping up more than the outcome. So I'm getting this 3 of Pentacles, which is kind of like what will be offered may not necessarily be all that he feels like he's worth, if that makes sense to you. Or eventually, as he looks at the opportunity, it'll be an opportunity, but as he looks at the opportunity, it may not necessarily be 100% of like, does he really want to be here? But like, look, let me tell you something. If you want to know, he can finesse it. Like that, like the energy that's coming up is, yes, he can finesse it. But again, like, I don't think that this interview, like, I don't think ultimately he will want this job long term, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like that's kind of like what's coming up. I think he can finesse it. Like, if he wants to make it happen, I think it'll be fine. But I actually don't think that he will want it after a while. I think it's gonna like, anything better out there for him? Y'all know I'm not doom and gloom, so I'm like, let me do this. Even though when I read my own cards, I'd be like, baby, keep it real with me, okay? Keep it real, okay. Interesting. Give me something else. I need a little bit more clarity. So make sure that he doesn't or this is more for him, like he just needs to make sure that he doesn't like get his pride in the way. Like sometimes the pride that comes up of like just wanting to get it, just wanting to get the job, just, you know, you just want to say you got the job. Don't let that get in the way of missing out on an actually really good opportunities. But just gonna let you know that I'm getting the feeling that there could be an offer extended, but I just don't think he wants to be there long term, to be honest with you. Let me see. See what else we got going on. Okay, Shirley, how does Denver feel about you? How does Denver feel? I don't know. Denver kind of feels like you do a lot, but like Denver feels like the way to impress you is through action. Any more clarity on that? So if they do want to like reach out to you and, you know, spend money on you as well, if they do want to reach out to you, they will come correct, you know? Because some people, like, they feel like, let me just give them time, doesn't matter what I'm doing, or let me, you know, give them, like, a ear, so y'all, you know, talking or communicating all the time. But they feel like, no, I got to come correct with you, Shirley, baby. Okay. How is it Karan or Karen feel about me? How do they feel about them? Life tricks. How do they feel about them? How do they feel about them? Okay. There's kind of like some type of like issue or something. There's some type of issue going on between y'all, or like some type of like, mm, mm, mm. There's some type of issue coming on. Before I go into that one, um, Cheryl, I feel like I called you Shirley. Cheryl, no communication. Okay, got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because you're probably wondering, like, if they're not communicating with you, like, why aren't they, like, what's the deal? What's going on here? Um, but yeah, that's how they feel. They feel like they can't approach you unless they approach you right. Um, and so depending on, you know, where they're at in life, they might be able to, you know, just come correct now. Or a lot of times what people do is they feel like, oh, I can't, you know, uh, do what I really want to do for this person. So I gotta wait. So I gotta wait. So I gotta wait until I can do it. Not realizing that the person wants multiple things, wants the time, wants communication, different things like that. But that's how they feel. They feel like if they want to come at you, they gotta come correct. But I feel connected to them. Let me go back to, okay, you feel collected. Can you please elaborate? Is he still committed to me for marriage? Are you all having, here's the thing, a marriage versus being in love is two different things. Marriages can be an institution. And with this Venus and Capricorn energy, going back to life tricks, with this Venus and Capricorn energy, this is a moment of you all reorganizing and reshuffling your foundation of safety. Capricorn energy and Venus energy is the definition of a marriage. Marriage is, you know, two people coming together for whatever reasons that they want to come together in a like legally binding way, which is very Capricorn. So if there have been some issues in the past in the marriage for whatever reason, you know, it can be big issues. It doesn't even have to be big issues. It can be little things that have built themselves up. But if you feel like there's a certain like something is off, it's because there is some type of like heartbreak that is associated here. I'm not saying that you broke their heart. I'm not saying that at all. I just feel like that if you all are going to make it long term, you two together as one unit have to build a strong foundation. And this is an opportunity during this Venus and retrograde in Capricorn to right the wrongs of how things were in the past, which was, you know, whatever didn't work out. So as long as they're committed to working with you, it'll be fine. But they have to have that commitment. Are they committed to working with them? And you know, you can overcome anything if a person is committed. I do feel like that they will. I do feel like that they are committed to you. I do feel like they are. Now, that in no way is saying that it's like just because someone's committed to you doesn't mean that working through, you know, building a strong foundation and a strong energy with somebody is easy. But I do feel like that they will, like, they will do what needs to be done for you. Okay. Whew. Goodness gracious, y'all. Y'all had all these questions. Tapping into all these energies at one time. Okay, well, I really enjoyed myself. And I had a lot of fun. Now, you all let me know. If you all want me to continue to do this, I will do this on a weekly basis. So if you want me to do this, let me know in the chat section or the comment section that yes, please come back. If I do it, it'll probably be on like a Monday. And it'll be in the same kind of like format, but let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this session. Don't forget the weekly moon cycle readings. I do that with my sisters. They're really cool because like they have a different, like they have like a wealth of like background knowledge. So if you all know me from Reiki Healing Hope, I'm an energy healing practitioner. You know, I'm a Reiki master teacher and I'm an intuitive too. So the way that I came into this journey of doing intuitive work was as I was going through my Reiki training, we were required to do intuitive work. So before I even got into tarot or oracle cards, we had to go in and read people's energy and to deliver messages. Sometimes they were clarity messages, sometimes they were mediumship messages, and just reading people's energy and being able to understand that. In order to do that, so sometimes I'll answer a question without even pulling a card because that's the way that I learned how to do that. But then, baby, what I realized was your energy has to be so focused all the time. It takes a lot out of you that when I started to use tarot and started to use oracle cards, it made it so much easier. It like really just like opened it up. And I was lucky in that my older sister reads cards and she's like read cards my whole life and I just never thought about it, even though she was always there. I'd be like, girl, read my cards. And she'll be like, what do you feel? I'm like, girl, I'm not here for that. Okay. Just like y'all were over there thinking that too. Like, I'm not here for that. Tell me, you know? But yes. And then my other sister who also has a wealth of, knowledge too, and her mediumship abilities and just all kinds of things, different practices. And, she's like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to certain like rituals and practices and stuff like that. So that's really cool too. Anyway, so you can catch us on the moon cycle reading, and baby, I'm gonna get some more stuff out here, but I will see you next week if that's what y'all want. Okay, come back. Okay, yes, I will come back, baby. I will come back. Yes, and show your girl some love. By telling your friends about it. Anyway, I will see you next time, and I hope that your new year is wonderful and fantastic. Also, if you would like a individual reading, I am actually open to individual readings. I've been getting this feeling of like, start doing individual readings, because I'll go into healing sessions and I want to go straight into intuitive work, but I'll actually have to stay in the energy alignment and things like that. So if you would like a personal reading with me, you can do so by the link in the description. So I will see you next time. Bye. Got my green juice, y'all. Love y'all. Had a fantastic time. Oops, wrong thing. See you later.